If you struggle to paint loosely, there's a good chance the real problem is not technique. It's fear. More specifically, the fear of wasting paint. A lot of students want to paint with bold strokes and rich color, but they're too worried about using too much oil paint, so they do the opposite. They use too little, and they spread it thinly and try to make every dab of paint count. Unfortunately, that creates exactly the kind of painting they don't want. The result is often scratchy, hesitant, overworked, and tight. So in this video, I want to show you how to practice bold, loose painting without wasting paint. The answer is quite simple. I always say paint big, but on a small surface. So let's go through 5 practical ways to do that. In my last video, I was talking about how to loosen up your painting. This is sort of drilling down into one of those objections about the possibility of taking too many risks and ending up wasting paint. So point 1 is to paint big on a small surface. A 6 by 9 inch panel is a very good standard size to use. You can buy that quite easily. You can make smaller panels as well. I like to take a card, cut it down to around about 10 by 10 centimeters and gesso it and use that for a quick study. I did that in my last video. Now this is where the surprising thing happens. Because the surface is small, you're not using a lot of paint. Not overall anyway. But because you're painting with bold strokes and a lot of paint on the brush, the painting still looks rich, confident, and full of life. This is an ideal practice format for anyone who's afraid of wasting paint. And what matters is the small surface leaves no room for fussing over unnecessary details. You have to simplify, you have to look for the big shapes, and you have to decide what really matters. This is exactly what helps you to loosen up your painting. So if you're nervous about loading your brush properly on a large canvas, don't start with a large canvas. Just take that big brush and work on a small painting surface. And the result is you end up with this lovely textured painting. Lots of almost like that gem-like look to it. When it's dry and you varnish it sometime in the future, it's going to look fantastic. The second point is still use a large brush, one that actually feels a little too big. And this is something like a size 8 bristle brush. It's going to be perfect on a small 6 by 9 inch or a 10 by 10 centimeter gessoed card. You may instinctively want to pick up a smaller brush because you're painting on a smaller surface, and this is the problem. For this exercise and to help you grow in your painting, you've got to keep the big brush, just paint on that small surface. And you'll notice that I like to scoop up a lot of paint using that stiff bristle brush, almost like a shovel, and just pick up the correct color that you've mixed, put that down with a lot of confidence in a bold stroke. And you can also dab it and still make a thick stroke. The brush is actually extremely versatile. The real benefit though is that you're not going to be able to really fiddle with it and put on tiny details and get distracted with little fiddly shapes. All you're going to be doing is putting down nice, bold, juicy brush strokes. Point number 3 is another technique you can try, and that is limiting the number of strokes. This is a powerful exercise. It sounds a bit scary, but if you limit the number of brush strokes, for example, just tell yourself that you're going to paint the entire study with 12 strokes or less. Now that might sound a bit artificial, but it's an excellent training tool and it's been used for a long time. Once you set a limit for the strokes, then every mark does matter. So you're going to stop dabbing around and you're going to see what needs to be done, and you're going to put those strokes down. It becomes a little bit of a challenge, even a game as well. And then you figure out, what's the sky shape? Put down a strong shape and cover that sky, maybe 2 strokes for that. Highlight on the wall, 1 stroke. The notes of the foliage, light, middle and dark, 3 strokes. You get the idea, and see what you can do. Start with something perhaps simple, a still life, maybe a lemon, and just paint the light, the middle, the dark, the shadow, the background, and see if you can do that in under 10 strokes. When the strokes are limited, you start designing your painting instead of leaving it just to chance. If you feel the number is unrealistic and you're really struggling, let's say you 10 strokes, make it 15, but try to stick to that. On a 10 by 10, it should be possible. All right, point number 4 is another exercise technique, and that is to limit the time. So set a time limit for that little painting. 20 minutes, for instance, is a good starting point, and it should be plenty of time, especially if you're going for a reduced number of brush strokes. You shouldn't have any real problem. Just think about your painting first, do a little bit of preparatory thought, and figure out your roadmap. You can even pre-mix your colors if that's going to make it simpler, and then set the time, start the watch, and go for it. It's going to take away some second guessing. It might make you a bit anxious at first, but maybe also excited to see what's going to happen. You'll also gain a lot more confidence. When you see what's possible, it can really transform your entire painting process. Another thing you'll learn doing this is you'll know when enough is enough. You'll know when to stop. If you have to stop, then you'll get to understand that that was actually a good place to stop after all. You didn't have to keep going. So you'll develop a bit of muscle memory like that, and a bit of confidence in knowing when to call it quits with the painting and move on. It's about being more decisive. So point number 5, this is overlapping with my previous video, and that's to keep the brush loaded with paint. This will help you make a bigger stroke. So if you have a limited number of strokes, you don't want to run out of paint because you've put too little on the brush. So pick up a good amount of paint, drag it on the surface. You can move the brush around and get a bit more of a livelier surface that way as well. Your painting's not going to look dry and starved. It's going to look rich and sumptuous. That's what we're after. Whatever you do, don't go back and blend away that beautiful brush stroke. Just leave it and look at it again the next day, and you might be very pleasantly surprised. So pick up enough paint and make that brush stroke count. So remember, you're not saving paint by making a thin, lifeless painting. You're actually training yourself to become more timid, and there's really no point in doing that. Painting is about being bold, expressive, generous with yourself as well. This is what's really important. It's not about trying to impress anyone else. It's about not cheating yourself out of potentially having a really exciting painting, one that's going to make you feel a lot happier. And keep in mind, this isn't about sloppy painting and just making a mess and playing around. This is techniques that professionals have been using for a long time, right? Since the Impressionists. It does work. You are really just giving yourself a bit of training. Now there's a bonus tip as well, and this is about not painting with a mindset of fear. This could be the crux of the real issue. So remember, it's just paint. As I always say, there's no paint police. And when you think, I mustn't waste paint, it costs a lot of money and things are so expensive now, in actual fact, if you cheat yourself with your painting, you are wasting the money for that paint, because it's going to be a disappointing painting. Rather have a good one and make the most of your paint. Make the most of those brushes. Artists must never be fearful, never be timid. Always push yourself to grow, to make yourself perhaps a little bolder, and enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, enjoy these activities. They are life affirming. Never think of fear, never think of wasting money, never think of all of those things that somebody might say to you that would be negative. It's not your problem what anyone else thinks, it's yourself. So work on that and enjoy that painting. And if you're still in doubt or you think I'm talking out of my hat, there are professionals who have used this technique to great effect. I think none other than Kevin McPherson. And you can see that in his book. I've actually got it here. This is Reflections on a Pond. And he painted basically an entire year's worth of studies in the 6x9 format. That's actually a life-size example. So there you have it. A famous artist and a real inspiration to all of us to paint those small studies. Well, if these tips were helpful, please give this video a like and share it as well, because I think there are many other artists there who would benefit from putting the fear aside and going for it and having fun with their painting. Now, if you're also looking for some inspiration, the next edition of Create Art magazine is coming out in a few days' time. On the 2nd of May, edition number 5. Almost a year already. So be sure to get the next edition by getting your free subscription. It's in the description below, or find it on createartmagazine.com. And of course, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on the next painting. Until next time, enjoy that little study with lots of paint and have fun. Cheers for now.